Hi, and welcome to Framework for Success. I am Michelle Egbert. Now, today we're going to explore motivation and the real reason motivation may not be working for you in this particular season you're in. So, have you ever had one of those weeks where you were busy? You were busy every single day of the week, but at the end of the week, you still felt behind. And I think that's one of the most frustrating feelings you can have because you've worked hard all week long. You were really trying to get things done, and you were doing a lot of things throughout the week. And yet, somehow it still feels like nothing really moved forward. That needle didn't move forward towards where you were going. And I think a lot of people assume that when they feel stuck like that the answer must be their lack of motivation. They start to think, I just need to be more disciplined, or I need to get more focused during the week. I need to, get back on track. But honestly, I don't think motivation is the real problem most of the time. I think the real problem is basically this: everything feels important in your life. And when everything feels important in your life, in your business, your energy actually gets divided. Your focus, it gets scattered. And then eventually your motivation really starts to disappear because you're carrying way too much all at once. And I have experienced this myself in different seasons of my life. There were seasons where I had so many things pulling me all at once. There were different opportunities pulling me in different directions, responsibilities pulling me, different ideas I wanted to pursue, things that I thought I should be doing, and also things other people needed from me. And because I cared about all of it, I tried to hold all of it and do all of it. But eventually, I did realize something: that being busy and then moving forward are not the same thing. I think a lot of women especially struggle with this because we become so used to carrying everything in our life as well as in our business. Those responsibilities that we're carrying both in our life and our business, those expectations, that darn emotional load that we're carrying, and all those unfinished tasks that are running through our minds at 11 o'clock at night when we finally have sat down. And then we wonder why we are so darn exhausted. But exhaustion doesn't always come from doing too much. Sometimes it comes from trying to give equal importance to the things that were never meant to carry that equal weight in your life or in your business. And that's why I feel motivation eventually just stops working, because motivation was never designed to carry confusion. Motivation works best when clarity actually exists, when we know really what matters and what matters in the season we are currently in, which I described in a previous video. Also, what needs your attention right now, and also what can actually wait. But when all of those things get mixed together, everything starts to feel urgent, and that darn urgency is so exhausting. And I think one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is this: just because something feels good doesn't mean it's necessary right now. And that's really hard because sometimes we attach guilt to letting things go, or we attach guilt to postponing things, or to simplify things. We think, if I stop doing this, well, then I'm failing. If I say no, then I'm disappointing others. If I slow down, then I'm going to totally fall behind. But sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to stop trying to carry everything equally. Not every opportunity deserves immediate attention. Not every idea has to happen right now, and not every expectation deserves access to your energy. And honestly, the clearer your priorities become, the quieter that overwhelm will get. And that doesn't mean that life becomes perfect. Absolutely not. And it doesn't mean responsibilities are just going to disappear. But it does mean you stop waking up every day trying to manage chaos without any direction in your life and your business. You start to make decisions differently. You stop asking, how do I get more done? And you start asking a different question. You start asking, what actually matters most right now in this moment in the season of my life? Now, that question will change everything because clarity creates focus, and that focus is going to create that consistency in your life and your business. And that consistency, well, that's what's really going to create that momentum. It's not going to create motivation, it's going to create momentum in your life. And there's a difference. Motivation comes and it goes. Momentum builds because your energy is finally moving in the right direction. So if you've been feeling stuck lately, or you kind of have been feeling this overwhelmingness of 11 o'clock at night, can't get things done, feel like you have to do more before you go to bed, you're emotionally exhausted from trying to keep up with everything, well, I want you to pause and I want you to ask yourself, have I actually lost motivation? Or have I simply lost that clarity around what matters most in my life, in my business, in the season that I'm in? Because those are two very different problems you need to solve. And if you don't know where the disconnect is actually happening, I have created something called the alignment audit to help you with this exact problem. It walks you through those areas of your life and your business that might be keeping you stuck so you can stop trying to fix everything all at once. You can find it on my website, or you can actually just direct message me on LinkedIn or through my Instagram account, and it will send you that free audit. And I have mentioned this before, that clarity is really that first step, but alignment is what really creates that momentum in your life. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.